Welcome back. You're watching On The Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara, and my guests tonight are Dr. Patrick Wakida, Executive Director of Research World International, and Godbert Mushabe, Policy Analyst. And we are looking into the poll results that have given us interesting results in the governance and the leadership of Uganda. Before we went to break, I just wanted to know, sometimes these polls are manipulated, I hear, to prepare the sake of the population before the election. Dr. Wakida, how credible are your results?
You see, the credibility of the research is dependent on the methodology. That's one. Two, it's dependent on the independence of the people conducting that survey in their mind. Two, and the third one, it depends on when it's commissioned. Now, if I described for you the methodology, I said we had a sample of 2,142. That sample was distributed proportionate to the population of the 4 major regions. Each region, therefore, distributed its sample proportionate to the sub-counties that are in that district. And further, it distributed it to the parish. The last point where we conducted the survey was at the parish. Our polling place was the household. All those were random. We did not know that we are going to Chenjojo, for example. We also did not know that we will.
Did you actually go to Chenjojo? Because I'm interested in knowing.
I am very sure.
My village in New Jersey.
We did. You know, Patrick, we did 89 districts.
Okay.
We did 117 parishes, all spread across the country. In this poll, all people of different tribes were interviewed. You get their rules, you get their Choli, you get the Langis, you get the Karamjong, you get all of them had an opportunity to be interviewed, because I can even tabulate this poll by tribe and tell you that the tribe that seemed more support this candidate was this tribe. Because okay, we had that question. What's your tribe?
No, I wouldn't like to go to that level. But the opinion polls also show that perhaps if the opposition formed a rainbow coalition, yes, they could defeat the president. If you were on the other side of the opposition, do you think they should be thinking that way for those who are?
No, I actually think it should be more than just forming a coalition to defeat the president, because I think there is always strength in unity. No doubt about it. The opposition is pitted against a very strong machinery, where you are competing against the NRM, an organization that has fused itself with the state, and it uses the state machinery to be able to manage its politics. So really, for you to confront it with the possibility of a win, you really have to organize. But I think the most important thing for me is that even if the opposition wanted to form a rainbow coalition, they also need to be focused on what is their agenda.
Yeah.
What do they want to offer to the people of Uganda? Because I think in most cases, the opposition tell us more about what they are against, rather than what they stand for. And I think if they did that,
I don't know.
And formed a coalition,
I don't know how you reach that conclusion. Yeah. When you look at the numbers, the people who appear, top leaders that Ugandans suggest, the names, all of them are almost NRM. You have President Museveni, you have Rebecca Kadaga, you have Janet Museveni, you have Muhoozi, I suppose maybe he's also NRM, and you have other people. So even the percentage of all those put together,
I think Patrick, you are trying to misrepresent two questions here.
I am not, because I see so many NRM.
There are two questions here
in the top leaders that Ugandans have chosen.
Let us get this.
Swear, how does a coalition?
I think let's get this clear. We asked two questions,
yes,
and these are two questions you're talking about. There was a question if Museveni and Besigye are out of picture. That's when you see Kadaga and Janet emerging. But we also asked a question: should opposition unite?
Yeah.
And field one single candidate.
Yeah.
We went ahead and asked, if opposition therefore fielded one candidate, would you vote for them? Then we asked the third question: who of the opposition leaders would you
vote for?
Would you vote for?
And I think, Patrick, just to mention another point, because Patrick seems to suggest that in terms of popularity, you can get the votes of Rebecca Kadaga, Janet Museveni, and maybe Amama Mbabazi.
My thinking is that all these are from one area.
No, incidentally, this poll, you realize that it doesn't happen automatically that this percentage that is supporting the First Lady Janet Museveni would actually automatically support Kadaga. It doesn't happen that way. So you can't just consolidate them and say, oh, NRM or DP or FDC.
So there's an element of individual merit than system and party.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. On the issue of education,
yes,
you asked where are the failures of the government,
yes,
and what are the successes of government.
Yes.
The failures of government, education comes on top.
Yes.
And the success, education is also on top there.
Yes.
I mean,
you see, that is the beauty of research. Research tells you how rational people can be.
Or irrational.
Or irrational.
Yeah.
So
in this case, not really. Ugandans are very rational on that question. First of all, people who used to sell their cows to take children to school now have their children go to school. So the question would be, for you, the elites, are they achieving the education in those institutions? Or what are they going to school? You see,
now I get it. So you asked the wrong question.
So the people are actually going to school.
Yeah.
And that's the first primary objective of a parent. For the child not to be at school, but to go to school. Mr. Museveni has solved that problem.
So what you're telling us, Patrick, with all respect, they gave you right answers, but your questions were
no. Our question was very correct.
You should have asked about the quality.
No.
But that's not what you wanted.
That's a different question.
That's a different question.
You see, if somebody says the education is there, people go to school. The primary objective of a peasant and a person in the village is not to see the child at home, but a child to go to school, or for him not to sell the cow because his child has been sent out of school.
Godiba, just before this poll result, Uwezo had released a report showing that as a country, Uganda is losing it on the front of education. And now, Research World International is saying otherwise.
You know, this is really the effect of the malfunctioning of the political system in the country, because you see, the ruling party has the monopoly of communicating policy agendas. They have access to resources, they have platforms, they have state agents like, RDCs really push some of these agendas so much. So in other words, UPE is another thing that has been thrown on the citizen as like one of the best things that has happened to this country. You just have to believe it, that the government has solved this, and because the political system does not function properly, where these other political parties can go and say, no, actually, you parents, you are being given a raw deal. Education could be delivered differently. The parents are comfortable with sending their kids to school, and the issues of quality, whether they are learning, then come next. So it shouldn't be surprising that if you went and asked the parents, because the majority of the respondents, I think over 80%, were from rural areas.
Yes.
So these are parents who are likely, or these are people who are likely to either have attended UPE or are sending their children to UPE. So for me, it's not surprising for the majority to be saying, "Oh, we've made progress with education." Yeah.
So, which also brings me to the question of you, especially in the civil society. I'm coming to you because you are supposed to, in a way, open people's eyes. I mean, build civic engagement and civic awareness and things like that. So if people cannot, interpret the situation, probably you are to blame.
Actually, no, I wouldn't put it as civil society, because it is each one of us as Ugandans, as individuals, because I always make this point that the reason we do the work that we do is not because we are civil society or we belong to NGOs. It's because we are citizens. So you and I and everybody has the same responsibility.
But there are those
be
with
able to-
there are those with the budget even to do it better. That's what I'm saying.
No, and you see, that's the whole point, that civil society has tried. When you hear campaigns like Black Monday, those are efforts of civil society to open up the eyes of the citizens. When you see the free and fair elections campaigns going on, civil society is solidly behind that campaign. But I think when you compare the fact that the regime, the government has the machinery that is able to communicate, no civil society in this country, no any other system can match the same level of machinery.
Yeah.
So and of course the constitution empowers government.
But
the
civil
constitution,
society
yeah.
and the donors, in fact, when you go to the field of health or HIV/AIDS, they contribute 90%
Yeah.
to that sector, and the government puts in only 10%. You are big.
No. But Patrick, the bulk of the funding, even for health, as you've mentioned, it goes to government agencies. The bulk of the funding goes to Ministry of Health. So you have NGOs that are doing some of this work. NGOs are small organizations. They run in 5 districts, in 10 districts. But you're talking of a nationwide.
The incompetence
You're talking of a nationwide
of the government.
campaign or a nationwide poll that you actually need to undertake to build the levels of civic competence that you need.
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I just want to ask the question on the economy. When they ask Ugandans in the West, they think the economy is doing better. When they ask the same question in the East, they get the opposite answer. Why is that? We'll be right back.